So I don't have people up here singing and all that. So good afternoon, guys. Welcome to I'm a Data podcast. We focus on leadership and inner development. Today I have a hold on. What I got something going on. I got an echo. Hold on, I got an echo here. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, y'all can hear me now? Okay. I had an echo on the other side because I had so many channels open up. So good afternoon again, guys. Welcome to I'm a Data podcast. We focus on leadership and inner development. And, we always connecting with others, that's out here doing work. Our unsung heroes that we actually talk about, this platform, we focus more on unsung heroes. People don't know about these people, but we out here. There are a lot of leaders that's out here that's doing work, that actually care about their community, and they want to invest in their community in many different ways. So we have Mr. Everyday, we have Karen Lockhart. I use her as a face, but they all the face. It's just actually bringing in this awareness. And I got Dailey, right? Dailey. Deja, you pull back from the camera so we can see y'all, because I'll just see your face.
Right. Yeah,
move back. Probably gonna let them see your body a little bit. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So now y'all can interact, y'all can engage, because this is live and people gonna be able to see y'all. You don't want people to see your face on the camera. So, with that. So today we're dealing with leadership unveiled. Right, conversation with Karen Lockhart, her powerful team. My wife and I had the pleasure to meet, Karen. I didn't speak to Karen like that, but my wife did, and we actually was able to see that she has a lot to offer in our community, and she's doing some powerful things. And we want you individuals to know how to reach her, how to reach her team, and what's really going on out here, within our society, and how we get actually able to position one another. So with that, I want to introduce Karen, her team, and y'all can just introduce yourselves. We can talk briefly, and then we just go into our discussion.
Hello, I'm Karen. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Let's go ahead. You good.
Okay. We got Mr. Everyday, and Deja. Everyone else is not here as of yet, but I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
You got to back up, Deja. I still just see your eyes.
Yeah, just take a step back from the camera.
I can't see. All I can see is your eyes.
Yeah, just move back a little bit.
But Deja has a little difficulty. She can't really see, so you have to.
Oh no,
I can see them. It's just that okay. Come on.
We just trying to help her.
Like this?
Now we can't see you at all.
We can't see you now.
What you want me to do?
There you go. Stay right there. Stay right there.
Well, my phone's on the charger because it don't have too much percentage on it, so that's why.
Okay,
as I keep moving around.
Right there. Perfect.
Come a little closer, Deja.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So let's go.
Okay, so who do we got here? Deja, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Deja, and I'm a part of JB Evolution. I'm her CEO. We support our community. We give out on holidays to the community, and
Just keep going.
we have a nonprofit organization, where we give back to our community. And this year made 3 years going strong with our nonprofit going on. So that's what I do.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Mr. Everyday.
My name is Mr. Everyday. I'm a multimedia personality, entrepreneur. I wear a lot of different hats in the business. First and foremost, I'm a producer of music and film. I have multiple degrees in radio and television arts, broadcast communications, and film and new media. I'm also an artist as well. I have a couple of different projects out under the group Mr. Everyday and the Past Life. That's my hip hop alt rock band. But then also I'm a solo artist under Mr. Everyday as well. I'm a radio personality. I've been on radio for 15 years, 5 years in New York, 4.5 years in New York, 11 years in Albany, in the capital of New York. I have the #1 independent hip hop radio show out here every Thursday night called Past Life Radio, Thursdays and Saturdays. I'm on air 8 to 10 on Thursdays and 10 to midnight on Saturdays. I also manage a lot of artists. I do a lot of consulting. I used to be a part of Bad Boy Entertainment. I used to manage Black Rob, the artist of Bad Boy, Black Rob.
Black Rob, yeah.
So I used to manage him. I was his publicist first, and then I became his personal manager. I'm also the godson of Gil Scott-Heron, considered the godfather of rap. And my biological father and Gil started Gil Scott-Heron and the Midnight Band in college at Lincoln University in 1970. And my godfather went on to produce 20 albums. He's literally considered like, the godfather of the whole genre of hip hop and as well as neo soul. So I've been touring my whole life. I've been performing. I just pretty much do a lot of different things. I also run a non-for-profit organization called the 7 Resource Center. We're one of the leading non-for-profits in the state of New York. And also I coach youth sports. I coach youth baseball, youth basketball, and youth football. 8U. My son's one of the top 8-year-olds in the state in all 3 sports. And I've coached them all to undefeated championships in every sport. We're currently in our football season, and we're currently I'm producing a television show, a reality television show based on the organization that I'm on the board of, which is Albany Pop Warner Football and Cheer. So we're currently working on that with a couple of NFL football players as well. So I got my hands in a lot of different pots. I do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's why they call you Mr. Everyday. Like,
my single just dropped. My new single called Blast on all platforms. I have a I left this out. I run it.
You can play it right now if you want.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on a second. You got to tell me twice. You don't got to tell me.
Man. Let them see what you're doing, King. Let them see what you're doing out here, man.
Hold on.
There you go.
You hear it?
I don't hear it yet, but let me see.
Listen. Can y'all hear that? Could you hear that just now?
Yeah, a little bit. It ain't pop up though. All
right. So let me put it back on. You thumbs up.
I can't hear the music though. Let me see. Probably got to put it on a speaker or something.
Okay, I playing it on a speaker, but I think it might be playing. I play it on my phone. You should be able to get it. I play it on my phone.
Deja, why you looking for? You can introduce yourself. Oh yeah, we got Nick, right? That's how you spell your name? That's how you say your name, Nick? Hello, Nick.
Nick. I don't know if he can hear you. Nick.
You hear me, Nick? Yeah, Nick. Unmute yourself.
I think he's muted. Yeah, he's muted.
Yeah, you gotta unmute yourself. I can't unmute him.
You gotta
you. Unmute.
Yeah, you. Unmute.
There you go.
Yeah, what's up? My bad.
What's up? Good afternoon, King. How you doing?
Good. Nice to meet y'all. I was around a lot of people. That's why. My bad.
No problem, King. Don't worry about it. I'm the data, man. We deal with people. That's what it's about. We're interacting with people in real time.
Yeah.
Real energy, man. This is not recorded. Right? We're moving live.
Yeah.
Let's tell the world about you, man. Let us know who you are, what you're doing, so we can connect more in the world with you, bring your purpose, as you speak about your purpose. I'm listening.
Yeah. My name Antoine Kelly. I was born and raised Brooklyn, New York. Lived in South Carolina for a little bit, came back here. Trying to find my way and route on like how I want to do basically. I'm in the process of learning like how to like run a company or start a company basically. Like I'm trying to do an LLC, start like a trucking business or a sprinter van business. Basically, that's what I'm on basically right now.
You got Mr. Everyday right here. You know what I'm saying?
That's like
tap in to Mr. Everyday. Mr. Everyday going to show you how to do the non-profit LLC. That's what you got the team for.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I run 5 LLCs, so I know all the ins and outs.
You do all that, you know what I'm saying?
Not for profit.
Okay.
I got my 501c.
I'm gonna put him on speed dial when this podcast is over because we're gonna become best friends. We got mad.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know, because I'm into podcasts and I'm into, you know, I'm doing a documentary now on Reentry. I'm doing a Reentry documentary, you know, looking at prison system from the inside and out. It's called basically Reentry Conversations from Prison to the Community. You know what I mean? So I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I actually started shooting that documentary 2 weeks ago. So I'm actually working on that documentary. So I definitely want to touch bases with Mr. Everyday. He can teach me some things, you know. We had to learn from each other. That's basically why I created it.
Okay.
Yeah. We all the same. We are all the same. We may be cut different, you know what I'm saying? We may be different leaves on the same branch, but we all on that same branch though.
We all on the same, we know
we all on that same branch, and we want to make sure that we increase each other in the land because it's our responsibility not to introduce harm or even to see harm as we move into a land. Like me going through society, I don't want to see a broken man. I don't want to see that at all, bro. For no reason, under no circumstances. You understand? So, because that's the case, if I have the ability to help you, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do that. Exactly. Yep.
That's right.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, Deja?
Karen said, can you let her back into the podcast? Because I guess somehow she got kicked out.
Okay, I see her. I got her. All right, there you right on time, Karen.
I mean, I was there trying to listen for the longest. I'm like, hey, let me back in. Like,
I seen you jump off, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going on. You know, you got many hats too, like Miss Everyday. So I was like, maybe she's doing some other stuff.
Yes, I'm glad that he shared everything. I'm gonna go down the line and just ask you guys, what is it that I do for you, or how have I helped your company? What are you here for? You know.
You got to introduce yourself first, Karen, about who you are and what you're doing, and then we can get into the other spectrum. We gotta know who you are. We don't know. Nobody know who you are.
Say it again.
Introduce yourself.
We don't know who you are. You got to introduce yourself, who you are, and then you can get into the other spectrum.
And then I'll go next.
Yeah.
I already said that. My name is Karen.
Okay.
I am. Hold on. I have a lot of titles. So
I didn't hear none of that.
Right.
My name is Karen. I'm executive producer and business manager of ebttv.com. I'm also assistant in daily marketing with Monica Dailey. I do ordained ministry. I collab with the Angels House of Dreams and Reentry Service. I collab with uplifting women in all walks of life and ending gun violence and domestic violence. I also collab with JB Evolution, and I also do sponsorship with Shirley Dailey. And again, Mr. Everyday, you can tell him who I am and what I do for you.
So Karen, like one of the biggest like aspects of because I have so many different hats going on, it's hard to manage and maintain everything. Like even though I have knowledge of all these different aspects, I can't put my attention. I can't be a creative and always be behind the scenes doing everything as well. So Karen is the vice president of PR for my company, Past Life Entertainment. She basically helps me with my PR campaigns and also bringing in other people to help do PR and marketing and promotions. So we've been, over the past couple of years, it's been our relationship has evolved now where I'm able to now kind of just give her what she needs to now be able to help me. So you know how that expression help me to help you. She's one of these people that's helping me to help you. You know what I'm saying? So so she pretty much does PR for me and does a lot of like marketing and brings other people into my organization to help facilitate all of the different projects that we have going on.
Amazing.
And Deja, what is it that I do for JB Revolution?
Well, she made me an ordained minister. She also has another organization that she runs and part of. I'm helping people find job, public housing. If you need a 40-hour OSHA, whatever you need, helping far as like an everyday life, she helps. She can help. She helps out as well as she got me the job to help out as well.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And then Nick, right?
Um,
You work with Nick too, right?
yes, Nick. Can you help me? What do I do to have helped you in our community?
Nick, Nick, you hear us?
Nick got a delay.
Who
Nick is
wrote
delayed, like you might be frozen.
who
There
wrote
you
that
go.
Karen is a leader that build with other networks? Oh, thank
Me?
you.
Go ahead,
Who wrote
Nick.
that?
What's your connection
What she do
to
for you, Nick? What she do for you, Nick? What's your connection?
Karen? Unmute your thing,
You
Nick.
on mute. You on mute, man. You keep muting yourself. You gotta unmute, bro.
Oh, my bad.
There
I
you
pressed it
go.
the second time. My bad. Same thing like the what she said. The woman right here said about she helping you get a job, housing, could get you a job. OSHA, basically. I mean, what I talked to her about, like getting my EIN number, like to start my business, basically. So she's gonna help me, get everything situated and everything I need to do that I don't know. She know how to do it. And she can help me whatever it is, even from your car. She's gonna help me register my car and things like that, and insurance. So basically, anything, whatever you need help with.
Whatever you need. So she basically like the quick fix.
Living.
She's like basically, she actually help individuals like bring their visions to fruition, basically, so to speak.
Right.
Right.
Definitely.
So basically, what happens is that y'all get into the strategic managing or strategic planning part, and then she actually helps you implement that into practicality. You actually be able to springboard and actually move off those different foundations.
Exactly.
That's good. And so, Mr. Everyday, I don't really, like I said, I do discussions. Let's just talk, guys. I don't do interviews. So if people wait for me to do an interview,
no. Here's the thing. Don't let me, because I'll take over a setting.
You gotta take over. This is
so
you. Like I said, we just talking. When I need to come in, I'm gonna come in. You ain't gotta worry about that.
You don't gotta tell me twice, brother. So
one of
the things that I left out was I also have a podcast as well. I'm on my 3rd season. It's called, if you go to YouTube, it's Past Life Radio. That's PAST space LI. Just like this, Past Life Radio on YouTube. And the podcast is called The Next Level. And the reason why I created that, like originally when I came to Albany, I'm from Harlem, New York originally, and Harlem in the BX. And when I came upstate, there was a huge void of culture. Like it was like all these different pockets, but hip hop wasn't really being represented on a whole. I think everybody was just falling into commercial radio and what's being played on the main commercial radio stations. So even though I had a job doing promotions for one of the leading hip hop stations, I didn't want to do my radio show on that platform because they weren't addressing the culture. So what I did was I did my internship at a college radio, one of the top college radio stations out here, WCDB 90.9 FM. That's WC as in Charlie, D as in dog, B as in boy. WCDB 90.9 FM. You can online, you can stream it online, but I'm actually on the FM dial. Like if you're driving around in your car locally, you'll hear me. So what I did was
you can send that in the comments. Send that link in the comments. I can put it right here. I can put it right here on the dashboard so people can look at it. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So we're moving in real time so they can catch up to you.
Okay. So my goal was to really, because I know like my lineage and I know my background and I know I represent the hip hop culture like fully from the root. We're talking about like, when you're talking about Gil Scott Heron, if you Google that man, you're gonna realize like the lineage and the power of music that I come from. I grew up in an amazing household. Like Tupac Shakur's family used to come over to our house in the living room, sit in the living room and talk and have meetings. Like my father was in the movement, in the civil rights movement. Like he was about change, sitting, marching, all that stuff. Like from the 60s. So I'm derived from the real root of hip hop.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? So everything I do has a very like holistic and home-based type feel culturally. So when I started doing this show, I wanted them to get real hip hop and not the watered down hip hop that everybody was on the radio, on these commercial radio stations. So I created a show called Past Life Radio. My company was already Past Life Entertainment. And I have a lot of mentors and people that have taught me the power of branding. I could have called the show anything I wanted, but I understood that if my brand is past life, then my radio show must be past life radio. Because you can keep hitting people with your brand so that they never forget. So I started doing this show, and I did only throwback stuff initially, only the classic hip hop from the golden era of rap. And then what happened was I started to get a lot of people that would come to me like, yo, Ev, like, what about the new guys? Like, you're not addressing these new artists that are coming up. So I wound up turning my show into a hybrid show where I do the first hour, nothing but classic hip, and then the next hour, I called it the next level, and I would feature up-and-coming artists. But it had to be an artist that has something to say. It couldn't just be reckless music. It had to have some type of spiritual component to it, or just a positive feel. So it had to be organic. I didn't want anything that sounded like whatever that was already on radio. So I did this 2-hour show, hour, the next level, second hour, and then it turned into me creating the podcast, which was me taking the next level to another level. And I started having artists come in where I would interview them, I'd play their music. And so it turned into like a 2-hour segment. And then I eventually did the first season as a pilot, where I didn't really have the vision that I really wanted to do. I just was having random artists locally come up. But then when the pandemic hit, I changed my whole focus because I wasn't allowed to go into the station for that whole year. So I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do. So I said, you know what? When the second season say it again? Oh, I thought somebody said something. So
probably Nick stuff. You know.
Yeah, when the second season started, I was like, you know what? I got my vision. I know what I want to do. I want to bring in a
somebody got to mute themselves. Hold on. Somebody's
talking in the background. I need to mute their mic. I think that might be Nick. So yeah. So I wound up creating this podcast that was a spinoff to my second hour of my actual radio show. And I didn't know, like, I just had this vision, and I said, I gotta bring multiple cameramen into this. I want to turn this into like how a real podcast is supposed to feel, because sometimes people think like, they got a real podcast, and it's really not. There's like certain standards that you have to adhere to have an official podcast. You know what I mean? So I started looking into my metadata, making sure my metadata was correct, which if you don't understand what metadata is, it's all the other information that you have to put into your like what you're doing right now, where you have like the data, and you said that's all part of the metadata, because it helps to create, the algorithm, and it makes your podcast more official, and it actually brings more value to anybody that you're going to be interviewing. So now you build a larger fan base and a larger following, because the people that you're interviewing actually be like, wow, this is dope. This is a great look for me. So I started becoming everybody's rollout. Anybody that was serious about their careers and was trying to really roll out, they would want to start their rollout with me, because it set the tone and the standard for what they wanted to continue to keep going. So any other interview after that had to either match my level or be greater than my level. And in some instances, I was the highest level for them. So now they have that as a resume to then go around and get other work and get other people to be interested in their projects, because they can use my interview as a reference. So I started to not only raise their value, but I started to raise my value. And then I began to understand the importance of how to monetize my platform. So now all my platforms are now going into monetization, because the numbers, the volume of the numbers, the volume of the content, the volume of the
they already started.
So
she didn't tell me what time. PST, EST. I don't like stuff like that. Till I enter the damn studio, I'm on the camera.
Okay, so now I'm at a point where I have my radio show, both of them Thursdays and Saturdays, and then I also have the podcast. And so, I'm bringing a lot more value to the region, to the community. And then not only that, I have people tapping in from different countries, people tapping in from different states. So it's just helped in my evolution. And then also what I started to understand is the power of my voice, the power of being a public speaker. And so I started just doing more research, understanding topics, like sending people, asking people to sending them interview questions, or asking
Yeah,
them
I remember it's my phone.
to send me a professional bio so that I could have more in which to make the interview better for them. Because I've had some artists that don't understand, like, hey, listen, I'm trying. The reason why I'm asking you for this content is so I can come up with better conversation material, better questions. You might just think that we could just come and freestyle this, but not every situation needs to be freestyle. There's certain focused things that you want people to know about you because it's going to help elevate your brand. And some of them didn't understand that until after they started seeing me do it for other people. Then they started realizing, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna send you this. So it's just been like years of development, years of understanding, and now I'm able to put it all into one big pot of gumbo soup, and it's just flourishing. Like it's helping my music is elevating, my podcast is elevating, my team is elevating, and they're all rallying around all these amazing things that I've been able to create and develop, because I started my platform literally from nothing. Like I remember when I used to cut on my show, I used to cut on my show from dead air. Meaning when I started, there was no listeners because the station wasn't even on air. And so I would have to cut the station on, do my whole 2-hour show, and then because there wasn't no DJ after me, I would have to cut it off again. So I literally built my platform from 0 listeners.
Yeah, you know? And that's how you're supposed to move. You said something that was powerful earlier when you're talking about your vision.
Yes.
Right? You gotta move in the energy of your vision.
Yes.
Right? You know, you can't be stop and start and stop and start and stop and start. And it has to be a straight transition. Yeah, and even when you don't know what's going on, inwardly, you still know what's going on. You just got to bring it to fruition, right? It's kind of like when you're doing studies and you're doing studies on different philosophers, and you come into philosophers like Aristotle and Socrates. Their specialty was asking men questions that they already knew the answers to, but the men wouldn't know the answer until they was asked the question, right? So a lot of times we don't understand that what we have to move forward already resides within us. A lot of times we try to look outside and do all these different things, but once we start from here, we're able to move forward. We're able to, really take our path seriously, right? Even with this podcast right here, people moving around, people coming off and on and things of that nature, but they're not understanding that this podcast is digital content.
Yes.
This digital content is going to be around for a very long time, right? And being that that's the case, you have to make your impressions on these different platforms that you may find yourself in. When you're invited into a room, you got to come into that room that you was invited in. You got to walk in your power. You got to walk in your strength. And you got to know that who you say you are is who you say you are, right? No one's going to remind you of who you are in the land. If you fall off your plateau, no one's going to remind you. You might have a nice little grandmother that might whisper a couple of things to you, right? Or, you might have a friend that might want to say something to you because he feel like you might could take it, right? But you might not be able to take it. You might be like, they judging me, right? No, we're not judging you, bro. We trying to tell you that we see you, we see your greatness, and we want you to lock yourself into that greatness. Yes. We don't want you to take your path and think that your path is meaningless. It means nothing because nobody sees it. Because you go on a radio show and you got no listeners, that means that the work you're doing means nothing.
Right.
You don't want to come into that mindset. When you open this computer up or you open that camera, the work that you're doing is the work that you're doing. That's your work.
Yes.
You got to stand by that work and you got to die by that same work.
Absolutely. And you understand, like, and what you're talking about is like presentation, like understanding the ethics in the room, like knowing that if you got a lot of noise going on in your background, mute your mic. Mute your mic. The moderator shouldn't have to tell you that. You should be able to acknowledge that, wait a minute, he's talking, he's saying some powerful stuff. And all the stuff I got going on in the background is causing everybody a distraction. So at that point in time, you become a representation of a distraction. So at that point in time, you're not adding value, you're taking away value from the room. And I learned that in Clubhouse. I came into Clubhouse during the pandemic, right? And you remember Clubhouse? Mm-hmm. It was a big.
I know Clubhouse, yeah.
So when it first started, it was one of the biggest things going at that time because we wasn't outside. Everybody was inside, and I was in one of the biggest rooms in the entire Clubhouse with all nothing but major celebrities, and they were based out of Atlanta. And I remember learning a valuable lesson about muting my mic because I waited days to be able to speak because there were so many people in this room. People were waiting in this room forever to get in to talk. And I waited days to be able to speak. And because I was talking and didn't know that I was next up, my mic was on. And they put me in what they call putting you in the dirt, where they send you back to the beginning of the back to the back of the line.
Queue. They put you in the queue.
Right. and then when I finally got to talk, I was too busy giving like a resume type of thing instead of getting to what I should have really been getting to. And they winded up dubbing me on that. So when I finally came back around the third time to speak, which was days later, I bodied that and ultimately developed a rapport with all the moderators in the room. And a month later, they had me as a moderator in that room. And then they flew me and my business partner out to Atlanta. We went out to Atlanta and we was in a mansion with them with private chefs and all that. And now I'm tapped in to the one of the vice presidents of Sony Publishing because of that. Multiple other, I cannot even tell you how many connections I made because of Clubhouse, but it was because I was able to assess the room and understand how to walk in my purpose and how to speak with power and branding. You see me over here with my brand, past
That's right, I see that.
My logo.
I need a size medium. I need a size medium in black.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Medium in black,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is just a prototype. The new stuff coming out is gonna be fire. I'm gonna send you one of the new products that we got. Yeah, I got
you.
But this,
so I definitely.
Yes. So you gotta walk in your purpose. What you said.
You gotta walk in your power.
Yes.
Walk in your power. You got to know that this right here, this is your truth. Any place, and this is what I'm trying to say too, man. Yesterday I went to an event in Manhattan, the UN event, right? And at the UN event, you seen a lot of prominent men and women. They was moving around. They was getting awards and things of that nature. But it was actually like be able to assess the room, move around the room, find out who's in the room, who's gonna give you this next opportunity. You know what I'm saying? The person that you let go for you to get some food, they might turn around and say, "Yo, bro, come over here, man. Let me talk to you over here in this corner right here. Let me give you this couple of information." Right? When you present yourself in full power, right, and people see that that you're open, right, they can connect with you. More things are happening for you. And so when you go into spaces, understand that every space you go in is essential to your growth and development. There's not one place that you walk into that's actually a waste of your time.
No.
You got to realize this. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know people think they know who's in the room. You don't know who's in the room. People don't know who you are. People don't know who Karen is. Karen is the glue that hold organizations together.
Karen's the plug.
No one would know that Karen's the glue that hold organization together. No one would know that Karen stopped many organizations from plummeting to the earth, right? So if they don't sit down and take time to find out who Karen Lockhart is, they would never know that Karen could turn around and save their business, right? I'm gonna give you an example. I went to a conference. It was a housing event, right? They was talking about housing in New York, SROs and things of that nature. I went there with my director. So I was at the event. I was talking to my director and stuff, and I looked across the room, right? Like halfway across the room, it was a big space. It was a black woman looked at me, and she locked eyes on me. And I'm telling you, when she locked eyes on me, I said, she's coming to me. But I wasn't expecting how she came to me. She ran to me across the room in full flight. Like, yo, I got to get to this brother. When she got to me, she said, I had to get to you. I had to get to you. I got to ask you a question. I was like, whatever you need to ask me, sister, ask me. And she asked me something about a housing program she was doing. I gave her like a visual format, how she could do it, how she could look at it. And she said, I knew you had the answer for me. And she went back to what she was doing. I never seen that woman again. I never talked to that woman. We didn't exchange phone numbers, business cards, or anything of that nature, right? But she knew that I had information for her because she was told I had information for her. And I don't even know the woman. The woman never even saw me in her life, right? And this is when you go into the room and you command the room. These are the things that follow you in the room. These are how people can basically point you out in a crowd and say, oh, that's Cameron, that's Deja, that's Mr. Everyday right there, right? Let me connect with this person. They got something that I need, right? A lot of time as leaders, when we basically leave our gifts everywhere we go. We leave a little bit of who we are. We leave this gift here, leave this gift here, leave this gift here. What I want to look at as far as the data is not... somebody, so not actually feeling like what you have is yours. I want to pinpoint this, right? We learn certain gifts, we learn certain tools, and then we say it's ours, right? But where do you get it from? Who gave it to you? Did you read it from a book, right? Was you at a conference when you heard somebody say a certain concept, right? Did you learn these skills from your mother, your grandmother, your best friends, your cousin? Where do you get these gifts from and this insight from that now you say it belongs to me, right? And when you don't share it freely. So when you don't share things that you have, how do you make room for new things? Right? It's about being who you are at all times, right? That you have to be unapologetic of who you are, right? You know, and it's not saying you mean or people can't approach you. It's just saying that this is who I am. This is my purpose. This is what I'm about, right? And everywhere I go, I'm gonna leave a part of who I am, right? Because when I come back to that space, I want them to know who I am. I want to say, oh, that's such and such. They do this or they do that, right? So it's about really being open about your creativity, that leadership unveiled, right? What does that look like? If you take your leadership and open it like a book, what does it look like? What will come back to you about your leadership if you open this book up? Like I said, this is a thing of discussion. So we just talking, chime in, jump in. Let's talk.
I
Let's have a
just
conversation.
I just want to introduce. I see Miss Regina just came in. Hi, Miss
I
Regina.
see
How
her.
are you? Thanks for coming.
So
Uh,
Hi, Miss
Yeah.
Karen. Hi, Miss Karen Lockhart. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you
How
so
you
much.
doing,
Very
Regina
honored.
Queen?
what's
I
your
just
lovely
want
Yes.
to
Hi. How you
I just
doing? How you doing?
I just want to introduce yourself. I want you to tell us who you are and what are you doing? What I do here for you. That's basically what we were talking about. Everybody went around, so I just want to hear a little something. I know you just came in, but I want to catch you up.
Okay. Thank you for that. And my apologies for coming in a little bit late. I was mixed up with the PST, EST. I'm PST.
Yeah,
And then my phone
gotcha.
wasn't charging and shut off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not at home at my office, so I'm like, oh my god, but I'm here. So yes, thank you, Karen Lockhart, for inviting me here to be with you. It's such a pleasure and an honor. And my name is Regina Queen. I'm with United Women Empowerment Against Gun and Domestic Violence, also uplifting women in all walks of life. And I advocate, throughout my community to help raise awareness to prevent gun violence and in our communities and throughout, globally. And I've been with Karen Lockhart. She's been coming in with me, so we network together and we help get them resources out to people, who has fallen short due to trauma. So we network together and we get resources, we connect, and that's what we do together. So, I mean, it's very powerful too because it's empowering, humanity and
That's right.
having people, to strengthen people because we're losing and we're losing our children to gun violence,
Mm,
domestic violence. We're losing our loved ones, uh, throughout every second minute of the hour.
that's
It
true.
just doesn't stop. Yeah, it just doesn't stop. Like I just lost my niece
Yeah.
in Atlanta. In Atlanta,
Sorry to hear
she her
that.
body.
yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Her
Definitely
body was
sorry to hear
found.
that.
So thank you so much. And her body was found, and I'm just like, it just don't stop. So that's what we do. We try to keep pushing to empower people to try to
Mm,
prevent violence because at the end of the day, nobody wins. Not the victim,
yeah.
not the suspect. Everybody
Not
loses.
society either. Not society either. It's like, you may see certain things in the land as you're walking through. That because it didn't happen to you, then it means it's not going to happen to you or happen to you. You experience something with your eyes and like, wow, why did I see that, man? I really didn't want to see that. And you carry that around with you for the next 20 years, 30 years. So the work you're doing, I definitely commend you on that because it's about bringing awareness. It's about saving ourselves as we're going through this land, and it's like nobody has all the answers, right? There is no utopia. There is no quick fix, right? It's us doing the work and actually looking at what is important as we travel through this life. Like, what is that legacy, you know what I'm saying, that we want to leave, that Mr. Everyday talked about? You know, he's in a space because of a legacy that was created for him to be in that space. Not everybody has that legacy. Not everybody has that lineage that they can come from. But us, you know what I mean, as leaders, you know what I'm saying, as change agents in the world, we create these new lineages. We create these new legacy. We create these new philosophies about life. You know, I fight the closed rackets. You know, people say, why are you trying to fight the closed rackets? I say, well, you know, it's associated to harm. And it's been associated to harm for centuries. And the harm just popped up yesterday. This was happening when we was in slavery and way before we was in slavery. So when we look at systems like that, right, you know, gun systems, right, there's no gun factories in Brooklyn, but there's guns all over Brooklyn, right? So you got to look at these different things that's taking place, right, and what do they really mean towards us as people and our legacy. So I definitely commend you on that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
with Miss Regina, I met Miss Regina by going through domestic violence myself. She has helped me come a long, long way of understanding, and I guess I have taught her some things that everybody that's incarcerated is not always the person who have committed the crime, you know. So we go back and forth with, you know, getting mothers and people to understand that the person who you think murdered your child may not be that person, you know. So we have conversations in group chats and women groups, you know, men groups too, to come in. So remember I was telling you we have someone who just came home from through 30 years and he was innocent, you know, and we discussed a lot of things. So I love the way that I got a chance to experience that because I'm a woman of being incarcerated. You know, I came from being incarcerated, was facing a life sentence for something that I didn't do. Um, Everybody turned their back on me and I didn't get a chance. So this right here means so much to me to be able to help everybody else uplift because I didn't know, you know. I was in the streets. I was gang banging. I was not listening to my parents. Things were going on at home. Everybody say that things just happen and everybody just turned to the streets, but there's other things mentally that happens to these children that we need to talk about. These groups. So the reason of me putting this all together and going here and have so many titles is because I'm trying to get everyone to come together as one and, you know, let's make a difference. So that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
What I do, Women's Daily Housing Program. We have it where we help with addiction, mental health, HIV, chronic illness, medical marijuana, pain management, physical therapy, home care. So a lot of these people that I have met through pushing the word out there and letting them know that I've been homeless. I've been through mental health. You know, keeping it on the eye because a lot of people don't like to say I didn't eat today, so I'm gonna go out there and rob somebody. But I want to be an artist, so I'm gonna go steal from somebody because I need to pay the funds to be an artist. You know, so with Mr. Everyday, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing when I met him, and it was amazing. And I pushed. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was talking a little something that I knew what I was doing,
She
and
was
he
talking her
believed
shit. She was talking her shit, and I ain't
She
even.
was like, y'all can do that.
And, you know,
I
and
can
the
do
thing is,
that. I don't care. Why you let this opportunity slide? I'm
I
gonna
could
do this for you.
I could tell that she was still a little green, but she had all the right energy, the right
Yeah.
conviction, the right spiritual component, and I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'll put somebody
That
in
vision.
position just because they got the ambition and the drive, and we can
That's
learn
right.
as we go, and we can learn as we
You
go.
learn as you go.
I
That's what
got
we
you.
doing.
and
We picking up the pieces.
And now look at her. She's a beast now. She's beastie
and
now.
and with Deja, I don't want to forget about Deja. I'm going to tell my story with that. You know, with Deja, I met her with a sorority group with 11 girls in one home. That is our build. That is our grind. We have a radio station called EBTT.com. I don't know, TV.com, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 11 girls in one home. This one woman had a dream to actually put us all together. And I have a home. I don't never want to get a mistaken that I don't have a home. I'm actually taking myself from out of my home to be able to build this foundation that women can all live in the same home and be something, you know, and come to something, you know. Everybody say, oh, females don't get along with each other. Well, males don't get along with each other either. So we started something and we did a car wash in Queens. We didn't know what we was doing and we went out there and started a car wash and started doing a fundraising and now that's my sister. I am my sister's keeper. So
You
I've
are.
been here around the world, came all the way back from Vegas, all the way here. I'll be by Texas, by Ohio by tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, to meet other females and let them know that we can stand together and it doesn't just take us to be incarcerated to be able to do that. It doesn't take us
That's
to
it.
hate each other to be able to stand together as one.
Hmm.
And Mr. Everyday just had a big event, and I was trying to come all the way from Texas to actually make it for that event. I didn't make it, but he really showed out. Miss Regina, I don't be there on every stand when someone passes away because I still have to fight and try to find out what is my next step to be able to help someone to come back to my team to be able to present these things. I was a girl in foster care. I didn't know how to read and write until I was into prison. I was in the streets, I gang banged, and I thought that was love. And it cost me almost a whole life sentence. And when I came home in 2010, I wanted to make a difference. I promised myself that I would never go back. I get people that still to this day don't talk to me because of my past, but I still stand firm in saying
Yeah.
it was a mistake. I didn't know,
You're not your past. You're not your
Um,
past. You know.
huh?
You're not your past.
Right,
Right.
right, right.
We're not our past. You know. You
Right.
know, and that's how I look at. You know, one thing I look at when I look at spaces of judgment, I always look at to the Bible, right? And when I look into the Bible, I see that most of the people that we honor in the Bible, they have fallen and risen as well,
Mhm.
right? So when we looking at this world, you know, the concept of judgment is to basically keep us suppressed and according to who we are, right? We can't get caught in people's webs of judgment, of misunderstanding about life. I was talking to a man the other day, and he said something that was very profound. He said he doesn't believe that man can fall and then rise again. That's what he said. And you know, this is a black man. I said, really? I said, so tell me one man in existence that you know that has risen to high planes without falling. I'm waiting. Tell me, right? We all go through this transitional periods, and some people hide their harm. They hide the things they go through, so you can't see what they go through. They hide it. You know, they in a dark corner. When they come outside, you just see the best clothes on. You know, they say teeth is shining and everything like that. But they was in the crib the other day. You remember that book by Michael Basin, Men Cry in the Dark? Right? They was in the park. They was in the crib the other
That's
day
my
crying in the dark,
favorite
but
book.
nobody would never know. Right? Nobody would know that man crying in the dark. He ain't gonna tell you crying in the dark. He gonna hide it crying in the dark. I'm gonna tell you I'm a dad. I cried in the dark and I cried on light. Right? I'm gonna tell you this right now because I don't want you to cry if I can stop you from crying. Right? I want you to understand that also it's okay to cry because we gotta let these things go and we can't hold on to harm. Harm has built no one. Harm has created no great giants in the world. Right? Harm creates new monsters and new beasts in the world. Who want to be a monster and a beast in the world? No one. Right? So we move in vibrations of love, vibrations of spirit, and vibrations of change. And anyone that does not see that we here to bring forth change according to our path, regardless of what we went through, that's on them, right? I was at an event I was at a panel the other day. There's an anti-torture bill, and the panel basically the man was saying that we need people that's forming content to help us build this bill, right? Because you need people that went through these different channels, that went through these different things to bring light and understanding to these things. I can't tell you about something I ain't go through it,
That's right.
right? So walk in your power. Don't let nobody, oh, you ain't talking to me because, you know, I did this and did that. I don't know what you did last Sunday, right? So we're not going to get caught up in this type of game that you playing here, right? You're not going to put me in a nice little box and put a ribbon on it and tie it. We're not going to play any of those games. We're going to bust out of any box that you create for whatever reason. Because I'm going to tell you something. I didn't ask you to create no box for me. I didn't ask you to take me and package me up and put me inside a box and then ship me off where you want to ship me off to. So please don't do me no favors when it comes to that, right? It's about walking our true power and our true understanding. I definitely understand that, Karen.
And I want to thank you and your wife for giving me the opportunity to even be here today. Because, again, a lot of people don't know what I do from the back. I'm always
That's right.
in the
That's
back.
right.
And today, when you text me and said, no, you need to be in the front, a lot of people don't tell me that. When I said, because when I got on the phone and I texted him, I said, "Oh, my team is they're gonna be coming on." He said, "No, this is about you. You need to stand in front." I don't think that I give myself that much credit because I don't know. I couldn't.
You want to
I don't
share
believe
with
I give
others.
myself.
Your focus, it's your
Yeah,
focus is the reason why you don't give yourself that much credit because
that's
your
right.
focus is not really about, we don't really think about ourselves. It's not like a competition. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be in the limelight. I want to be, because I see a lot of, advocates have that in them. But our goal is to, and our main focus is to help people come out of trauma. And we just only focus on the broken. We
It was.
focus
It
on the
was.
hurt because
It
we
was.
are the real deal. We've been through it. So that's where your
That's right.
focus at, and that's why
It was.
that's why
It
we don't
was
give
amazing.
ourselves credit.
It was amazing how I met his wife, and I was sitting. She was sitting there right with me at work all day, like
Yeah.
all. When I mean all day, when she thugged it out with me, her patience. At first I thought she was gonna give me a hard time. I'm not gonna lie, and I thought I was gonna get a hard time, but she's standing right there, and the outcome of it, I can say that is my sister. That is my sister from another mother who I just sat there. We were just sitting there chopping it up and
That's her
just
statement right
talking.
here. She's
Uh-huh.
the statement right here. That's her statement right here.
That's my
Karen is a
sister.
sister who has found her purpose and working it. Her drive to assist others is contagious.
Mm.
Thank you. She have
Understand?
we was just sitting there and it was so dark. It was like 8, 9 o'clock. I think we completed and she was the last one. So I was going
Mm.
through my scripts, how I got movies and do I was going through my stuff and we were just chopping it up. I don't want to say too much because I didn't sign no NDA.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
nobody to
definitely.
sue me.
Yeah.
So we were just chopping it up and God got me here, y'all got me here. And it feels so good to know that another sister didn't just turn her back. She opened up her heart and was like, you know what? I'm going to get you on here and I'm going to use you in school. I'm going to use your story and your stuff in school. And they texted me last night and said, do a bio. I was like, do a bio? I never did a bio about what? Like, I don't know what to
You
do.
are the walking
And
bio. You're a walking bio. That's
and Miss Regina and Mr. Everyday, I need you guys to take over. I'm gonna come right back in. Go ahead, you guys. I love you
we
guys.
about to cut
Oh my
off, but yeah, guys,
Okay. We love you too.
Yes.
definitely.
Yes,
Yeah, Miss
Karen,
Every
she's
Day,
very, she's very,
Regina,
very, very, very amazing.
What'd
Yeah,
you say?
she's
yeah,
very
definitely.
amazing.
Yes, she
That's
is.
Yeah,
good.
she comes in from time to time, and she even encourages and empowers me as I go through what I go through, and
Yeah.
and has brought even ideas to my mind of to think about how to forgive people
Yeah.
and stuff like that for
Yeah.
what they've done to our loved ones. Because a lot of us, we really, really have a problem with, forgiving someone who murdered your child. And,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
is, that's super, that's a big challenge right there for, a
Yeah,
lot of us.
that's on another
Hmm.
level, that's on another level, we're looking at forgiveness, and looking at, just healing ourselves from the world. It's just so much, even with my path, I've been in so many different dark places in my life. I've escaped things that people thought. I remember I went to, Cam had said something like, so I'm never going to go back to prison. I said that before, right? And then I wound up volunteering to go into a prison, right? So it's like,
So you
after
went
I
back
came
just for a
home
positive reason.
Oh, for a positive reason. Yeah.
for a
Because,
positive reason, right?
it,
Yeah. And
yes.
I just want to tell
And
you,
that's
it was a
really
woman
true.
that it's really true. And it was Sing Sing. I'll never forget, it was Sing Sing. And I ran into a lady that I grew up with. And she called my name. She said, Nick. I said, yeah, that's me. She said, you know what, Nick? I thought you were going to be dead by 15. I never thought that you was going to be able to
Mm.
come to this space right here and walk through these walls and talk to other men and stuff. And I was like, wow, right? So you don't know how people look at you in the world and what their projections are, and for me to walk into a prison to bring forth kids, somebody telling me that, man, you're not even supposed to be here. I never thought you was going to make it out the streets. And blessed to the Most High, I actually made it out the streets, and they would come back and teach my brothers and sisters some very valuable jewels to help us navigate through systems of harm, help us to be able to heal and even forgive ourselves for the things that we have done or what we haven't done for our lives. We have to forgive ourselves, brush ourselves on and move on, right? And, tapping in, like Mr. Everyday was talking about, tap into these different rims of your life, seeing that you are the hemispheres, that you want to create, and just pounce and do whatever you need to do. And these things will start opening up for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, we're closing out about, 4 more minutes. So, talk, man, spread your last information that y'all want to put out there. Send me any links that y'all want to send me. Karen got my wife number, so if y'all want to send it to me in the show, you can send it to me and I'll upload it, and I'm going to send y'all all the videos as well. This has been a great, great conversation with some great leaders, and I commend all y'all path. Reach out to me. I'll come to your domestic violence event. I'll come to your shows. You know what I'm saying? We could do some video shoots together. We could write some scripts out for movies. We could do all those things. I have great talents that I also want to share with my people as well and put them on higher plateaus. When I want to walk by men, I want to see men shining. I want to see men full of power and strength, the same as my women. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to walk by broken men and broken women in the land, right? Why should I do such a thing when I'm not broken in the land, right? So at the end of the day, I want to be the empowerment that I am to the world, so I can see that same representation when I go somewhere and somebody say, "Oh, I know that guy. He helped me out." I never had to. You imagine come out of prison and teaching in prison, and people see you in the street and come run and hug you and kiss you and say, "Man, you saved my life when I was in there." I was like, "Man, I was trying to save my life." You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, you don't know, what you leave. You know what I mean? When you leave places, man. You don't know. You don't know your true power, man. And you have true power.
Before we hang up, before we go, I would like all my team members to please leave something out there for the community, and definitely your business of what we do and how we can be able to keep on helping and attaching and networking with a lot of other people. I appreciate it. We're going to go down the line, please, and thank you. Mr. Everyday.
Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm multitasking right now. I was sending some links into the chat room. What was that? What was the last thing you just said? I know you.
I would like my team to go down the line. Please present your business and let the community know how we can still help them and what we can do to help them.
Okay. Well, Past Life Entertainment is my one of my not-for-profit businesses. It's a multimedia music and film production company, and overall, my philosophy for Past Life is that we learn from the jewels of our past to which we use to forge a brighter future. So it's about understanding the mistakes that we've made and also understanding the things that our forefathers, the groundwork that they laid for us. We need to gain and gather all of that energy and all that and turn it into a chakra, which is a spinning vortex. We need to build up our strengths as a community and understand where we're now at today based on the opportunities that we now have today that we didn't have before. Because I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is that we don't realize that there was a time period when we didn't even have the opportunity to do any of the things that we have today. So we need to value these things and instill those values into our youth so that they don't take things for granted. Because the youth today are kind of like they're actually entitled. Like when I look at even entertainers, they don't realize when I was coming up, if I had YouTube, I would have already been a multi-millionaire, multi-platinum artist years ago, because YouTube is a television network. And we had to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get what now is at the touch of a finger, that you can just press a button and all the knowledge. Like Google, are you kidding me? Like, we didn't have Google where it could answer every one of our questions in real time. We had to go to a library, go see the librarian, tell them what subject we were going to do, and then we had to get the card and go do the research. So, so Past Life is an old school philosophy in a new school body. That's how I like to enlighten it. So any way that you can support the projects that we're going to be putting out, we're producing. I'm producing a Pop Warner youth football. I coach, and I'm also on the board for Albany Pop Warner football in Albany, and I'm producing a television show to raise funds for the program and for these children, these inner city children. I have 3 kids on my whose fathers were murdered. And I'm dealing with anger and aggression and misplaced hostility. And I got to still take this kid and teach him how to work in a group of 29, 30 other kids. So it's very challenging. And so I'm trying to do the show and raise these funds. And I got a lot of people coming on board. I got NFL football players coming on board, college players coming on board. So this is going to turn into a real big thing that we're going to be producing probably next year. I'm putting the groundwork and laying the groundwork for it now. So I do that along with my non-for-profit, the Sevens Group Resource Center. You can look that up, the Sevens Group Resource Center Incorporated. I'll put the link for that as well in here.
I'm gonna share all that. I'm gonna share it. Don't hang up. Don't hang up when
I'm a community man.
I want to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Don't hang up when it's over. I want to talk to you, but let them too. We got to in out. Say y'all piece. We got to end the show, and don't hang up, Miss Everyday. I definitely want to continue our conversation in this stream right here.
Deja, go ahead.
Take us out. Take us out, Deja and Karen. Take us out. We're about to close out. Deja. I don't think Deja can hear us. So, yeah, close out Karen for us so we can move. Because I got to end the show.
Thank you for having us once again. I hope we can do this again. Definitely for the community looking for housing in Brooklyn and the Bronx. We also offer placement, OSHA 40, security guard, maintenance, food service, Army Guard, medical marijuana, pain management, physical therapy, etc. Please reach out, follow us on Facebook, and that's it. I love you guys. Thanks for having me.
Childcare. I'm sorry, you forgot to say childcare.
Okay, well, help me. I thought you was gonna lead up.
They got a lot of, they got a lot of tricks in that bag, man. Just reach out to them. You know what I mean? They're gonna pull out some tricks for you that you didn't even think they had for you. This is a one-stop shop team right here. You reach out to any one of them, and they basically help you format your dreams, your visions, your goals, and put those into implementation. I want to welcome everybody that came. We're definitely going to do this again, guys, even probably some one-on-ones. And welcome to Data. Please subscribe to my YouTube channels, my podcast, help my channel grow so we can bring more, air lights on here and we can actually show our change. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for tuning to Data. Don't hang up, guys.